Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Raleigh, North Carolina. My name is meteorologist James Morrow, and I'm here with your weekly weather briefing for Central North Carolina. Today is Monday, January 6th of 2020, and this will last through Sunday the 12th. And as always, if you are listening to this on our YouTube channel a little bit later, we highly recommend visiting weather.gov/Raleigh for the latest weather information, especially if you're listening to this middle of this week, as many things can change in a forecast 2 to 3 days after the fact. So let's take a look at what's currently going on across Central North Carolina. So we have very clear skies today, really not much in the way of cloud cover expected this afternoon. We do have a cold front that's passing east of the Appalachians this morning. This is going to be mostly or all fully dry with little in the way of impacts when it comes to cloud cover. And high pressure is going to settle in quickly behind this. So that should work to keep our skies mostly clear. Temperatures are going to rise mainly in the middle to upper 50s across Central North Carolina. Raleigh will be right around 55, 56 degrees today, with a little bit lower 50s to maybe upper 40s across the Triad region, and nearing the 60-degree mark once you get into the coastal plain, including Sampson County down there. That could maybe hit 60 today, especially with all this clear skies out there and plenty of heating that's going to be allowed. As we go through this upcoming week, today, mostly dry. We do have that cold front that's going to pass through safely today without any impacts. High pressure is going to pass overhead, but late tonight, we're going to see this area of low pressure here in the top left portion of our screen that's going to try to ride up the spine of the Appalachian Mountains. And that could produce a period of snow, at least north of the Virginia-North Carolina border or across the North Carolina mountains there. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about this a little later on, but we're really not expecting any in the way of impacts from this system. When it comes to freezing precipitation types, we could have some light rain up to maybe a half inch in some of the Triad region, but we're really not looking at much in the way of frozen precipitation types other than maybe a quick mix of some snow that won't stick to the surface with things being a little bit too warm. Behind this system, we'll see high pressure filtering in, will stay dry and have a gradual warming trend into the late week period, where next weekend we'll have another weather system that's going to bring a cold front through and likely introduce some rain showers across the area, mainly Saturday night into Sunday. But a lot can change between now and then, so certainly tune back to the Thursday weekly briefing for updates on that system. No thunderstorm activity expected over the next several days, and likely even the next weekend system. We're not expected much in the way of thunder and lightning, with temperatures just a little bit too cold, not enough instability out there to create that thunderstorm-favored environment. Taking a look at accumulated precipitation forecasts over the next 7 days, here's your Tuesday system. This is going to be mainly Tuesday morning. That could drop anywhere from a quarter to maybe an isolated half-inch amount across the north and west portions of our forecast area here in Central North Carolina. Mostly dry Wednesday, with maybe some precip overspreading by Friday. But Thursday should also be mostly dry across the area with high pressure and control. But next weekend, we could see amounts inching up to that 1 inch amount, ironically, across the Triad region, with a little bit less as you go south and east of the area, a little bit further from that cold front. Here's a blurry zoomed in portion. We're looking at maybe amounts up to an inch to an inch and a half across the far northwestern portions of the forecast area there in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, but a little bit less than an inch, especially as you get into the coastal plain region of Central North Carolina. So here's another look at Tuesday's front from the Weather Prediction Center here. You do see this area low pressure that gets spun up in the Tennessee Plateau region and pushed north and east across the Appalachians. That front, that area low pressure is going to pass just to the north and west of us, which is going to keep us in what we call the warm sector. And that's going to help keep some of the most of the precipitation in the liquid form. The one exception could be across the far northwestern Piedmont and foothills region, which could see a quick period of mix tomorrow morning, mostly between the 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. period. Very little in the way of impacts. Surface temperature is going to be right around 35 degrees above freezing. So other than maybe a sleet pellet or a falling snowflake, that's really all you're going to be seeing across the Winston-Salem area, especially with temperatures that warm. You're not going to see anything impact the roadways especially, but certainly even the grassy surfaces. You're just not going to have the rates to get things to stick. And here's our current slide out there We are expected to see a very quick moving area low pressure, and you can kind of see in the radar reflectivity here where that center of the low is going to be, and that's going to expect it to be pushing north and west of us, which should keep us in the warm sector and maybe provide up to a quarter, isolated half-inch amount across the northwestern Piedmont, but mostly to all rainfall expected. So here's a quick summary of the week. High pressure slides east tonight ahead of a developing storm system, which will bring mostly rain to central North Carolina early Tuesday. Drier conditions expected with a warming trend lasting basically throughout the weekend. We are expected that next shot of rain to come Saturday and Sunday here. And you'll see temperatures are going to be almost spring-like Saturday, with temperatures in the upper 60s across the northwestern Piedmont to even mid-70s across the southeast. So we could be touching maybe near record temperatures by Saturday, depending on the timing of the front. And luckily, with how active our weather pattern has been and how wet the weather pattern has been over the last 2 to 3 weeks, drought concerns remain very low at this time, with rather saturated conditions present across all of central North Carolina. At this point, I will pause the presentation, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you may have.